Hey everybody, this is Ms. Barnacle again. Our next module that we're going to talk about is dividing decimals. Now we're going to do two different types of problems. One of the problems that we're going to do first is involving dividing a whole number into a decimal, and then the second one is dividing one decimal by another decimal. So let's go to the board and I will start off with the easy one. Okay, so our first problem is 8 and 823 thousandths, and we're going to divide that by 17. So 17 is a whole number, and that's good because in order to do division, you must have a whole number on the outside as your divisor. When your decimal is on the inside, all we have to do is bring it straight up into our answer. Okay, so let's do that first, and then we start our division. Now remember, your division process is, does McDonald's serve cheeseburgers? That's from a previous module. We say 17, how many times does it divide into 8? 0. So let's put 0 up here as our placeholder. And then we do again. 17 divides into 88. Now it'll go into 88. It's just a matter of how many times. So we're going to estimate about how many 17s would be in 88. Let's start with 5. Okay? And then we do multiplication. 5 times 7 makes 35. 5 times 1 makes 5, plus 3 makes 8. That's pretty close. So now we're going to subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. 8 minus 8 is 0, so those cancel. And 3 is less than 17, so I'm good to go. Bring down the next number. Now I say it again. 17 divides into 32 about how many times? Well, 17 to get to 17, that makes 34, and that'd be too much. So we're just going to go one time. So 1 times 17 is 17. We subtract. And this time, in order to subtract, we have to borrow or regroup. And we're going to change that 3 down to a 2 because we're using some of it. And we're going to give it to this 2 to make it a 12. So now we have 12 take away 7, which leaves 5. And we have 2 take away 1, which leaves 1. So I have 15 left over. 15 is smaller than 17, so I'm still okay. And then I bring down my last digit, which is a 3. And I say, about how many times does 17 go into 153? Well, we know it's got to be bigger than 5 because 17 times 5 is 85. So let's shoot for 9. Let's try a big number and see if we get there. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 6 is 15. And there's nothing left over, so I'm good. Okay? Now, in order to check your answer, remember how we did that in the previous module. To check your division, all you have to do is multiply. You multiply these two numbers together, your quotient, which is the answer that you got with your division, and your divisor, which is the number you divided by, which was 17. And the answer you get should be the dividend, which is the number that was under the division house to begin with, okay? And that's how you check your answer. Now the second type of problem we're going to do involves dividing with a decimal on the outside. So let's rewrite this problem. We have 3 and 5/10 divided by 5 thousandths. Okay, well, I just got through telling you on the previous problem that this number, the divisor, has to be a whole number. Well, this one's not. This is 5 thousandths. So what we have to do is make it into the whole number 5. So in order to do that, we have to take our decimal and we have to move it 1, 2, 3 places. And by moving it to 3 places, that means I make the whole number 5 now, okay? And that's what I want to do. So if you move it 3 places on the outside of the division sign, you have to move it 3 places on the inside. Otherwise, it's not balanced. So 1, 2, 3. And when I move my decimal 3 places, I have to add those zeros, okay? So now I'm dividing the whole number 5 into 3,500. So I'm going to rewrite the problem. 3,500 is now divided by the whole number 5, okay? Once you make your divisor a whole number, then you can just do division like normal. So 5 does not divide into 3, so I skip to the next spot, 35. 5 divides into 35 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. And I subtract. Well, there's nothing left over, okay? The problem that you run into is if there are digits under here that have not been used yet, you have to still bring them down. Well, all I'm bringing down is a bunch of zeros. 5 divides into 0 0 times. So those zeros right now are just placeholders, but they make our number 700. So 700 is the quotient. It's the answer that we get when we do this division. And if you wanted to check yourself, you would do 700 times 5, okay? And that would give you 3,500, which is exactly what I wanted it to be. All right? Now, those are the 2 different types of problems that we did with dividing decimals. And when we come back, we're going to do a little bit more with our decimals.